Hello everyone, my name is Sarah and I am going to be taking you through a flexibility class today. So just bear in mind there are a few prompts that we will need, but these are all items that you can find easily in your own home. We've got a dining chair here. You can use any kind of chair as long as it's not on wheels. So feel free to use your office chair if you are sitting in it a few hours a day or many hours a day, because these are exercises that you can do when you are at work, even in the office, as long as you are able to hold on to the sides of the chair. And I have here with me a stool as well. You can use the same chair, you can use two of the same chairs, or you can use a stool. Just ensure that both chairs are almost of equal height. So we don't want one chair to be too high or too low. I also have here with me a towel, a gym towel that is longer than a face towel. You can use a belt if you don't have a towel, or you can use the sash of a dress or a skirt. And I also have a cushion, a couch cushion, not a sleeping pillow, just to make sure that it's a little bit more sturdy and has a little bit more bounce in it. All right, I know it seems like we need a lot of things today, not forgetting your yoga mat as well. So if you don't have any of these items, feel free to swap it out with whatever you feel works best for you. But these are all things that we have at home, so hopefully you'll be able to make do with them. All right, we will be working on shoulder, neck, a little bit of back flexibility, and we will be working into opening our quads, our hips, and our hamstrings as well. So come and join me in a comfortable seated position on your chair. All right, for those of us that are a little bit shorter, you will realize that my toes are on the mat, but my heels are not. So I want to make sure that I'm seated comfortably and my knees are in line with my hips to start off with. So this is where the couch cushion comes in. Placing it onto the floor and just placing your feet onto the couch cushion. Again, if you are a little bit shorter, go ahead, place two pillows underneath your feet if necessary. Hands onto your knees or your thighs and just start to sit up tall. Just making sure you're not arching into your lower back. So if you need to, just round your back very slightly. We don't have to sit super straight. Just make sure that you're not hunching your back here. So whatever feels comfortable for your pelvis, your hips, and your lower back. Just gently close your eyes and start to bring awareness to your breath. Just doing a bit of breath work here. This is something that we're going to use throughout the entire class. So closing the mouth, sealing the lips very lightly to touch, and take a deep inhale through the nose. And exhale out through the nose. Take these few moments for yourself, especially if you've had a long day at work, or running around with the kids, or just need a moment to relax. A few more breaths here. Keep your breath nice and steady. Make sure that your exhale is as long as your inhale. And try not to control it too much. Just let it be easy, but just deepening it with every inhale that you take in and every exhale that you let out. Check in with your body here. Are you holding any tension in your shoulders? If you are, relax the shoulders away from the ears. Are you holding any tension in your lower back? If you are, you're welcome to sit yourself all the way towards the back of the chair and leaning your back against the backrest. Relax the space between your eyebrows. And just keep with this continuous, comfortable breath as we go through the entire class. On your next inhale, blink your eyes open very slowly, just letting light in back into your eyes. And reach your arms all the way up towards the ceiling as you take a nice long inhale. If your shoulders are very tight and you're tending to push your chest forward, just try to think of tucking your ribs in towards your spine and feel a nice long straight line from your tailbone all the way up towards the crown of your head. Keep your shoulders relaxed and keep your palms facing each other, arms are parallel to each other. Slowly inhale, looking up between the fingertips here. And as we exhale, let's reach the hands down towards the front of the chair. Coming into our first stretch, working on a little bit of spinal flexibility here. A lot of us are quite familiar with the concept of cat and cow in yoga. But today we're going to simplify it so that it's something that you can do even when you're just sitting in your office chair. So sitting up tall, holding onto the front of your chair. As you inhale, start to lift the chest, suck the belly in towards the spine, broaden your collarbones, and slowly gaze up towards the ceiling. Pull with your hands, feel your arms lengthen. And as we exhale, start to round the back. Tuck your chin in towards the chest. Keep holding on to the chair and just let your back touch the backrest. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Open the chest forward. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind your back. Hug the belly in towards the spine. And as you exhale, round the back. Tuck your chin in towards the chest. Move as slowly as you need to. As you start to get more comfortable with the movement, moving only with your inhale and your exhale, you can start to increase your range of motion and maybe feel your tailbone start to move as well. Maybe placing your hands onto your kneecaps so that you're not restricting your movement as much. And as you exhale, start to round the back. Shoulders away from the ears. 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Gazing up. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Exhale, round the back. Tuck the chin in towards the chest. 1 last time. Inhale, open the chest forward. Letting your head drop back if your neck allows. And as you exhale, tuck your chin all the way down. Separate your shoulder blades behind you. And inhale, come back to center. So you should have felt that with every movement that you did, with every inhale and exhale you took, your range of motion started to increase. And this is something that I want you to think about as we're going through the class. When we go through each posture and we go through each stretch, please don't feel like you need to get to 100% straight away. So allow yourself to go from 0 to 20 to 40 to 60 to 80 and to 100. Even if you don't hit 100, if you're at 70%, that is great. All right? All right, let's place our hands onto the chair again. Now I'm placing 4 fingers underneath the bottom of the chair and I'm gripping onto the front of the seat. Again, sitting up tall, do not push your chest too far forward. Keep your lower back relaxed. Inhale, lengthen the spine, shoulders away from the ears. As we exhale, drop the left ear to the left shoulder. You should start to feel a stretch in the right side of your neck, in your shoulder. Now try to relax the shoulders by pushing the elbows down towards the floor. A slight bend in the elbow is what we're looking for. And slowly inhale, come back to center, relax the arms, relax the fingers. Inhale, lengthen the spine 1 more time, holding on to the front of the chair. Exhale, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder, stretching out the left side of your neck. Again, keeping the shoulders relaxed, soft bend in the elbow, reaching the elbows down to the floor. And as you inhale, slowly come back to center and relax. 1 more time, holding onto the chair. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, drop the left ear to the left shoulder. Stretching out the right side of the neck, soft bend in the elbows. Keep your chest open. And from here, we're going to start to tilt the chin up towards the ceiling. Keeping your left ear close to the left shoulder, so your head is tilting at a 45-degree angle up towards the ceiling. You should start to feel a stretch in the front of your neck, on the right side of your collarbone. Just keep the shoulders relaxed. Again, soft bend in the elbows. And slowly start to tilt your chin down towards the floor, looking towards your right knee. This time stretching out the back of your neck, maybe into the shoulders, otherwise known as your traps. And slowly come back to center, taking as long as you need to bring your head back to neutral spine. Relax the hands, relax the fingers. You can shake the hands out. Take a nice long inhale through the nose. And exhale out through the nose. Holding on to the bottom of the front of your chair again. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Take a nice long inhale. Exhale, drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Soft bend in the elbows. Keep the lower back relaxed. Now, very slowly start to tilt the chin up towards the ceiling while keeping your right ear to your right shoulder. For those of you who clench your teeth a lot due to stress or grind your teeth at night, you might feel this is quite nice because we hold a lot of tension in our jaw, and this muscle right here that we're stretching in the front of the neck is connected to the jaw muscle. Now from here, very slowly start to look down towards the floor. Gazing towards your left knee. Just feeling the stretch in the back of your left shoulder. Again, keeping the soft bend in the elbows. Breathing here for 3. Keep your breath slow and steady. 2. And 1. Very slowly coming back to center. Head in neutral spine. Place your hands onto your thighs. Sit up tall. And just see how your shoulders feel right now. It should feel like it's sitting a little bit lower away from the ears. A little bit less tension in the neck and shoulders. I hope you feel a bit more comfortable here. Now raising your arms to shoulder height, palms facing you, interlace the fingers, knuckles reaching forward. Start to push the knuckles forward and start to round the back as we release that lower back a little bit after all that stretch work we've been doing. You can keep your gaze towards the palms, or you can keep your gaze down towards the chest, shoulders away from the ears. Now try to pry your fingers apart even though they're still interlaced. Staying here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back to center. Now, spinal flexibility does not just come from you folding forward or reaching back. It comes from rotation and twists as well. So we're going to come into our first twist of the day. Please take it easy. Go as slowly as you need to. And just allow yourself again to go from 0 to 100 as gradually as you need to. Again, stopping at 70 and 80. That is most ideal. Inhale, raise your hands up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, turn your body to face the right. Now, some of you might start to feel a little bit of an ache already. If you do, lay off it, untwist very slightly. Left hand towards your towards your right knee or the outside of your right thigh. Right hand reaching towards the back of your chair. All right, so if you're working without a backrest, go ahead and just grab the back of the seat. If you are working with a backrest, you can hook your right elbow around the top of the chair and just place your right hand comfortably behind the chair. Now sitting up tall one more time. Lengthen the spine. As we exhale, do not let the knees move. Start to look past your right shoulder and just start to think, I'm keeping my chest over the hips, keeping my shoulders relaxed, and I'm twisting only from the shoulders and the upper back. Chances are there's a possibility that your right knee will pull back, your left knee will pull forward. So try to step into the pillow or into the floor with your right foot just a bit more, just to make sure that your knees are even. Stay here for another 3, 2, and 1. Very slowly untwist. Inhale, come back to center. Hands onto your thighs, sitting up tall. 1 more nice long inhale. And exhale. Inhale, raise your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, let's twist very slowly to face the left. Right hand towards your left thigh or the outside of your left thigh. Left hand reaching for the back of your chair or elbow hooking on top of the chair. Left hand placed comfortably wherever you want it to. All right, from here, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, start to look past your left shoulder to wherever is comfortable for your neck and your back. Again, stepping slightly more in towards your left foot, into the pillow or into the floor, just to even out your knees here. And just keep your breath slow and steady. Try not to take quick, sharp breaths. Keep the belly hugged in to protect that lower back if you can. If not, just focus on the breath here. Staying for another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly coming back to center. Hands onto your thighs. Take a nice long inhale. And exhale. Beautiful job, everybody. All right, so rotations and very small movements in the spine, stretching out the neck, everything that you can easily do in the office, on your chair. Even if you're just sitting waiting for your dinner to be served, you can just sit and do all these things. Let's remove the pillow for a second. Place it to the side, and I'm going to sit my bum towards the edge of the chair. So your feet should be able to sit quite comfortably on the floor here. You shouldn't require the assistance of the pillow. This is essential because we want to make sure that the feet are on a solid surface. I'm going to place my right ankle on top of my left thigh. This is a position that we're all very comfortable with and very familiar with. And we're going to allow this to be our lower back stretch as well as a hip and glute stretch. Now bear in mind, some of us might start to feel a bit of pain in the knee, so please do not go too deep. I'm going to place that stool or the other chair in front of me and just place a towel onto the stool just for support for my elbows because I want a bit of comfort. My stool has holes in them. I don't want imprints. All right, from here, raise your hands up towards the ceiling. Make sure your left knee is in 90 degrees. As we exhale, I start to push my bum back, step into my left foot a bit more, and I start to reach my body forward at a 45 or 90 degree angle. Once you're comfortable, start to place your hands either onto your thighs or again, you can place them onto the chair in front of you. Now, some of us might find that this is really impossible to get into. You might be here right now. This is okay. What I want you to do is actively press your left foot into the floor and drive your right knee down towards the floor as well. You're going to start to feel a dull ache in that right glute. And the more that you can start to walk your hands forward or start to reach your forearms down towards the chair, you're going to start to feel a stretch in that lower back. Don't feel like you need to keep your back completely flat. You can round your back very slightly and just slowly start to place your elbows onto the chair. All right, remember, slow breaths, allowing yourself to get into that stretch a little bit more with every exhale. Keep driving that right knee down towards the floor. And once your elbows are on the chair, or if your forearms are almost touching the chair, try to round your back very slightly and do that spinal flexion cat and cow that we were doing. So I'm going to round the back, inhale, and then exhale, push the chest forward. Inhale, round the back very slightly, and exhale, push the chest forward. All right, with every time that you exhale and push the chest forward, try to drive that ankle into the top of your thigh as well. If you start to feel tingly in the right foot, come out of the stretch, place the foot on the floor, and then slowly join us again. Once you feel like you are in a super nice, comfortable stretch here with your back flat, if you are okay, you're going to stay in stillness. Keep that lower belly hugged in to protect that lower back. Shoulders away from the ears. Just start to go into a nice lull as you start to think about very peaceful and calm things. If not, you can start to count the lines on your fingers. I like to distract myself as I'm in the stretch. I'm going to stay here for another 5. 4, you can keep moving if you want to, or just stay in stillness. Last 2 breaths. Last deep inhale here. And exhale very slowly, pushing back into your hands. Don't come out of it too fast. And then when you're seated upright, hold on to the back of the chair and slowly release that right foot onto the floor. All right, you can shake your knee out, especially for those of you who felt the right knee was a bit wonky. Just be careful. I just said wonky. All right, let's step that right foot into the floor. We're going to switch sides this time. Left ankle onto the right thigh, sitting up tall. Okay, just giving yourself a few moments here to identify with the shape, just making sure that you don't stray too far away from it, even as we go into different degrees of stretch. Inhale, raise your hands up towards the ceiling, step your right foot firmly into the floor. As we exhale, start to hinge from the hips, folding forward. Again, don't need to go too far. You can go at a 45-degree angle or come all the way down. And very slowly, you can place your hands onto your thigh and your ankle first. And start to drive that left knee down to the floor. And then when you're ready, start to place your hands onto the chair in front of you. And remember, very slow and steady does it. Very slowly, start to see if you can drop your elbows and your forearms onto the chair in front of you. All the while, you're keeping your belly hugged in. Keep pushing your shoulders away from the ears. Keep the bum reaching down towards the chair and drive your left knee down towards the mat. Now, wherever you are, if you are still on your hands, we're going to very slowly inhale, round the back. Exhale, push the chest forward. Inhale, round the back. Exhale, push the chest forward. Now, this breath work is a bit different from our cat and cow. Mainly because as we drive the chest down, we feel a deeper stretch and we want to allow that exhale, to allow that stretch to open up a bit more, allowing the muscles to stretch a bit more. If you start to feel comfortable, go ahead, place the elbows onto the chair. Drive that left knee down a little bit more. Keep stepping into that right foot. Press into the forearms, shoulders away from the ears. And keep that lower belly hugged in at all times to protect that lower back. Again, you can count the number of lines on your thumbs. Or you can think about whatever makes you feel really calm. Distracting yourself from the stretch here. You can play some music if you haven't already. Or if not, you can listen to the music that I'm playing. Keep breathing. Staying for another 5. Again, if you feel tingly in the toes, come out of the stretch, place the foot down, and resume whenever you're ready. Last 2 deep breaths here. And 1. Slowly come back onto your hands. Grabbing the backs of your chair and slowly release that left foot down to the floor. So that was our seated pigeon position. Pigeon pose is not exactly applicable to everyone. And in fact, some of us might even be here in our pigeon depending on how tight your hips are. So wherever you are, just choose the variation that works best for you and go with that. All right, let's move on to our next stretch. In flexibility, we're going to be working on our hamstrings, something that a lot of people are very, very tight in. Mainly because we sit with our knees bent 100% of the day. All right, you don't sit with your legs straight a lot unless you're sitting on the floor, and even then you're likely to put your feet on the floor, keeping your knees bent. And this is why our hamstrings are so tight, because they're constantly in that tight motion when we're seated. So I'm going to place my pillow onto the chair in front of me just for comfort for my ankle, but if you don't feel like this works for you, go ahead and take it away. Placing my right foot onto the chair. Now, if you start to feel like your right knee is sinking down to the floor a lot, you're welcome to pull the chair in towards you. Let the foot rest off the chair and focus on the calf being on the chair. All right? If this works better for you, go ahead. I'm not going to ask you to choose whatever I am doing, but I do prefer having the chair a little bit further away from me. All right, grabbing onto that gym towel that you have, we're going to sit up tall. If your left foot cannot touch the floor comfortably, you can place it against the back leg of the chair, or you can put another block or a pillow underneath your left foot. So keep a soft bend in your right knee. Do not lock it all the way down. Sitting up tall, raise your hands up towards the ceiling. You're holding onto either ends of the towel. And as we exhale, start to fold forward from the hips and drive your right heel into the chair. Now squeeze your right quad and see if you can lasso your right foot with that towel. Depending on your flexibility, some of you might still be up here. This is fine. Maybe just really try to pull that towel. Even better, if you have an old t-shirt that you don't want to use, that you don't mind stretching out, that works as well. Flex the toes in towards your face, and let's stretch out the calves and the ankles for a second here. Those of you who are a bit more flexible, you can pull your elbows in towards your ribs, or maybe just drop the towel completely and hold on to the outsides of your feet. What I'm looking for is not so much a rounding in the back, but just more trying to fold from the hips. So if this feels comfortable for your back, you stay here. If this feels comfortable for your back, you stay here. If this feels more comfortable for your back, I'm not going to complain, but just make sure that you're squeezing your quads, pulling your toes in towards your face, and trying to fold forward from the hips. Now slowly start to point the toes up towards the ceiling. Relax off that flexion position. And now start to walk your hands up the towel and start to pull yourself down towards that right quad. So those of you who are able to, maybe you can walk your fingers, grab onto the outsides of your feet. If you have a backrest in your chair, go ahead and see if you can reach for that backrest, or grab onto the outsides of your stool. This is a very deep stretch that I'm in. So if you are here, again, don't force it. Remember, we don't want to go to 100 straight away. And in fact, taking it to 70 to 80% is great. You've been in this stretch for almost 2 minutes now. So we're going to come out of it very slowly. So if you weren't holding onto your towel already, just hold onto it very slowly. Try to reach forward, extend your arms, and remove that towel. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, bend the knee and step the foot into the floor. Let's give yourself 2 breaths here. Just making sure we're not going from side to side too quickly. Just want to give the body a moment to rest between stretches. And exhale. Beautiful job. This time I'm going to place my left foot onto the chair. Again, adjusting accordingly. Remember, we always have uneven sides in the body. So at any time that you feel like one side is tighter than the other, you're welcome to take a little bit longer on that side. You can pause the video, give yourself about 30 more seconds, and then join me again. All right, inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling, holding onto either ends of the towel. As I exhale, I lean forward from the hips, squeeze the quads, and try to lasso my left foot with my hands and the towel. Once you are here, try to pull yourself in first. If you are able to, hold on to the outsides of the legs, go ahead, don't worry about it. And then wherever you are, point the toes in towards your face, feeling a nice stretch in the calves, in the ankles. Again, if you are able to, place your hands onto the chair, grabbing the backrest, or maybe even holding onto the feet. Again, allowing whatever feels most comfortable for your back here. Just make sure that you keep squeezing your left quad and keep pulling the toes in towards your face. Hamstring flexibility is one of the hardest things to get into. And a lot of times when we're not careful and we're going to it very, very fast, you might end up tearing your hamstring. You might feel a pain in your butt. All right, so we just want to avoid that. Just go very slowly with your breath. Every exhale, fold yourself forward a bit more. Now relax the toes, point your toes up towards the ceiling. Keep stepping firmly into the right foot. And then from here, hold on to the towel and try to pull yourself down towards the thigh a bit more. So we want to decrease the space between the belly and the thigh as much as possible. But you can keep your back slightly rounded if that does not feel comfortable for your back. Again, if you want to, grabbing onto the outsides of your feet, shoulders away from the ears at all times. You can keep your gaze towards your big toe or just look past it, staring longingly into space. Or if you want to, you can grab the outsides of your chair, either reaching for the backs of the chair or reaching for the other side of the seat. Again, you don't have to go too deep. Staying here is perfectly fine. Even staying here is a very good stretch for some of us. So we're just going to stay again for another 5. Keep squeezing the left quad whenever you can remember, squeeze it. Last 3, 2, and 1. If you weren't holding onto the towel, grab the ends of the towels. Slowly shift your weight forward a little bit more. Last deep stretch. Extend your arms and remove the towel away from your foot. Slowly bring your hands down. Place the foot down to the floor. Place your hands onto your thighs. Sit up tall. Inhale. And exhale. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Beautiful job, everyone. Now I'm going to remove this stool away from the mat. I don't need it anymore. We're going to come into a kneeling position. And I'm going to put the pillow on the floor because for those of us that have knee pain, this is going to help a lot. All right. Even if you don't have knee pain, it's just going to make it a little bit more comfortable to be in the stretch. The towel is only here if you want to take the stretch a little bit deeper. For those of you who feel like the first stretch is going to be very hard already, just stay with the option number 1. All right, let's come into a nice kneeling position, placing your forearms onto the chair. You should feel like your bum can go back quite comfortably. And then from here, you're going to walk your knees back, adjust the pillow if you need to, so that slight tilt in the butt and slight flexion from the hips is quite comfortable. And now I've got almost like a nice long straight line from my knees to my hips without feeling pain in my lower back. All right, keep your tailbone tucked under, press your forearms into the chair, shoulders away from the ears. Get comfortable with this position first. You can keep your toes untucked or tuck them under. I prefer to tuck them under because they protect the kneecaps as well. So let's just put a little bit of weight into the shoulders here and start to feel your lower belly hug in. Point your tailbone down towards the floor and start to squeeze your glutes here. All right, and slowly untuck. Allow your tailbone to point back. One more time, tuck the tailbone under, squeeze the glutes, feel your lower belly hug in. Press into the shoulders, press into the forearms. And from here, bring the knees together to touch, ankles to touch. Keep that tailbone tucked under, step the right foot on the outside of the chair. Good. Now, depending on your flexibility, your right foot might be really close to the front of the chair as long as your right knee is stacked over the ankle. All right? Keep that tuck of a tailbone under. Do not let the hips go back this way. Keep tucking it under. Squeeze your left glute a little bit here. And then maybe start to inch that right foot forward. Those of us that are here already, keep squeezing that left glute. You should start to feel a stretch in your left hip flexor and in your left quad. So now when you are here, again, try not to put too much weight into the shoulders. Try to push the shoulders away from the ears. As we are doing this, we're increasing strength in our shoulders as well. So we are getting a little bit of a workout and not just working on flexibility. All right, keep squeezing that left glute. Tuck that tailbone under. Stay here. Breathe. For another 5, 4. We hold a lot of tension in the hips, so this is good. 3, 2, and 1. Now don't move anything. Release that left glute very slightly and start to shift your bum back. Now don't shift the bum down towards the floor. Keep the bum high and start to wiggle your right foot out to the side at a 45-degree angle. See if you can straighten that right leg. Point the toes up towards the ceiling, balancing only on your right heel. All right, once you are here, option number 1, you're going to stay with your forearms on the chair. Option number 2, you're going to tuck your tailbone under and try to reach your fingertips down towards the floor. So your elbows are in front of the chair and you are going to stay here. All right, this is option number 2. Option number 3, you are going to sit your bum back very slightly, dragging your heel along with you and see if you can come into a full stretch into the hamstring. All right, we're not going to stay here for long. We open up the hamstrings a lot. If not, I prefer just staying here. Squeeze your right quad, stay. 2, tuck that tailbone under. And 1, step that right foot back in. Right knee onto the pillow beside your left. Sit back into this child's pose. You can tuck your toes under or you can flatten your toes and just round your back very slightly, allowing that lower belly to hug in. Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to this position. Knees are together, ankles are together. Now step your left foot on the outside of the chair. Keep your right tailbone tucked under. Squeeze that right glute. And start to shift the weight forward very slightly as you inch your left foot forward. Again, don't go too far. Keep your shoulders away from the ears. Just by squeezing the glute, I'm already feeling the stretch. It doesn't look like a lot, but I really do feel the stretch here in my right hip flexor. Breathing here for another 3. 2. Keep squeezing that right glute. You got this. And 1, very slowly, relax that right glute now. Start to wiggle that left foot out to the side. Heel down, toes up. Again, you can choose to stay here and just stay and focus on really stretching into that left hamstring. Option number 2, walk the fingertips down towards the mat. Shoulders and elbows in front of the chair. You can rest your forehead down. Or if not, start to shift the bum back, pulling your left heel with you and start to fold forward from the hips. All right, whichever variation you took or you're taking, stay there for another 3. We're not going to stay very long. 2, And one, slowly put your knee back down onto the pillow. All right, sit back. If you tucked your toes under just now, see if you can untuck the toes this time and just give your ankle a stretch. Beautiful job. Breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. One last deep stretch here before we call it a day. I'm going to move my chair slightly away from me. Oh, that's noisy. If not, you can always just move the pillow away from the chair just a bit more. Now, if you felt that the first version that we did was already very, very intense, you just stay, all right? You only move if you want a little bit more of a progression. So I'm going to place my hands onto the chair here. Bring the knees together, tuck the tailbone under, squeeze that left glute, step the right foot on the outside of the chair. You're going to start to feel a deeper stretch into the left hip flexor and the left quad. Very nice. Now don't sink into that lower back. There's a tendency that we want to just let that left hip go. Don't. Squeeze the glute. Don't let it sink down. From here, I'm going to look past my right shoulder and look towards my left heel. So you can pick your right elbow off the chair. Now hold on to both ends of the towel with your right hand and put your peace fingers between the towel to separate them so that there's a little bit of a gap here. All right, left forearm stays on the chair. Look towards the left heel. Now start to slowly pick the heel in towards your bum and see how you feel. If your knee does not feel okay, stay here and just twist like this. All right, from here, pick the left heel in if you're okay, toes pointing up. I'm going to windmill my right arm in front of me all the way up towards the ceiling. Reach back and place that towel over the foot. Wherever you are, start to kick the foot in towards the towel and slowly, very slowly with control, start to sink the hips down, allowing that left hip to open up very slightly, but keep squeezing that left glute. If this does not feel okay for your knee, you just stay here. Those of you who can, you're going to grab the pinky toe side of your foot with your right hand. And again, same thing, kick the foot into the hand. Open the shoulder and open the hip up. Feeling the quad stretch as well. Stay, 2, and 1. Very slowly release the towel, release the hand, swing it back around the same way you came in. Get the body to face forward, place the left foot down. Very slowly sink your hips back, step that right knee all the way back. Place it onto the pillow. All right, staying here for another 3, 2, and 1. Same thing on the other side. So if you know that your knees are not okay, just do without the towel, all right? Place your hands onto the chair. Keep squeezing that right glute. Step that left foot on the outside of the chair. Come onto your forearms. Allow the hips to dip down just a bit more, but keep squeezing that right glute to keep the hips high. All right, breathe here. And then when you are ready, start to look past that left shoulder. Maybe lift that left elbow off and look towards the right heel. Good. Try not to hold any tension in the neck. Now, holding onto the towel with your left hand, put the peace fingers between the towel so that you got a gap. Pull the right heel in, loop it around the foot, and start to kick the foot into the towel. Opening up the chest here, keep squeezing that right glute. Again, if you don't need the towel, use your left hand to grab pinky toe side of your right foot and start to kick the foot into the hand. Feeling a stretch in your shoulder, feeling a stretch in your quad hip flexor, feeling the rotation in your spine. Stay for 3, 2, 1. Very slowly release the foot, swing your arm back around. All right, step that left knee back and come back to center. You can place your hands onto the chair for a very gentle child's pose here. Breathing for another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly inhale, come all the way back up. Coming into a nice comfortable position on your chair. Going back to where we started, place the pillow under your feet if you need the support. Knees in line with the hips, sit up tall. Hands onto the thighs. Just check in with your body and see how you're feeling right now. You should feel like everything is a little bit more limber. You can move around very slightly just to see how that is. And then on your next inhale, raise the hands all the way up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers, slip your palms up. And gently sway left and right, keeping your bum grounded firmly into the seat of the chair. One last stretch here. Place your hands onto your kneecaps or onto the front of the chair. Round the back, tuck your chin into as a chest. And then inhale, keep your chest open. Reach your hands towards the back of the chair. Gazing up, hug the belly in. Slowly relax. Keep your gaze up towards the ceiling. Raise your fingertips all the way up, palms facing each other. And exhale, palms to your heart center. If you're not comfortable with this, just place your hands onto your thighs. Close your eyes. We're going to take 3 cleansing breaths together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. 2 more. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out through the mouth. 1 last one. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out. Seal the lips, close the mouth, breathe only through the nose. And very slowly let your breath come back to normal. Its comfortable pattern, becoming very shallow, very light, not holding any tension in the breath. On your next inhale, blink the eyes open very slowly. Big smile on your face. If your hands are still at heart center, just a gentle bow to your heart. Just giving yourself a big thank you for showing up on the mat and doing this stretch sequence. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for the next video. We're going to do a bit more stretching, but this is a great introductory one for you, especially if you are desk bound a lot. These are exercises that you can do in your office, at home. You can do it with your kids. You can do it with your parents. Just grab everyone, just get them to stretch, and hopefully everybody feels a bit more mobile and feels a little bit better to start their day or end their day. Thank you so much. My name is Sarah. I'll see you guys very soon.